When you are starting at zero, the first $100,000 is the hardest to save up, says Charlie Munger, a famous investor. But there are actually a few conditions that make the second 100,000 just as hard. So in this video we'll discuss how to save up your first 100K, how to make it as fast as possible, and what to avoid if you actually want the second 100,000 to be easier. How to save the first 100K. Goals in life are important, and obviously you already set the goal of saving up your first 100K, and you might also have heard of the acronym SMART goals. And SMART stands for specific. Our goal here is very specific. It's 100,000. M is for measurable. Our goal is also measurable because it's dollars or whatever currency you live in. And the ART, the A, R, and T stands for achievable, realistic, and timely. Now, to match those three last letters, there are actually two ways. The first one is you can set a savings rate and see how much money you can save up every month. And then from there you can calculate the time you need to actually get to 100K. Let's say, for example, you earn $4,000 every month and you save 30% of that income every month. That means you're putting aside $1,200, and that means you need 84 months or around 7 years to save up your first 100,000. If you would be able to save 50% of your income, that would mean that you put $2,000 away every month. Then you would reach that goal in 50 months or a bit over 4 years. So that's already significantly faster. If you would even manage to save 70% of your income, which I might add at $4,000 a month in the Western world, in maybe a bigger city, would already be very ambitious. But then you could put aside $2,800 a month, and then you would only need 36 months or a bit under 3 years to actually reach your first 100K. We will come back to this in a moment. The second way would be that you set a time frame in which you want to save up the first 100K, and then you work your way backwards from there on how much you would need to put aside every month to make it possible. For example, if you want to save 100,000 in 1 year, you would need to save $8,334 every month. Alright, so how to save the first 100K fast? In our calculated example, you might have already glimpsed at the factors that are actually relevant to reach 100K fast, and this is the savings rate and the income. So if you want to reach 100K or any other financial goal faster, you either need to put up your savings rate, and from these two factors, this is the more limiting one, and the second one is to increase your income. Increasing the income alone, of course, is not enough. I mean, if you earn more and you keep the savings rate, for example, of 30% or 40%, it still is more money every month, but it will be quicker if you also adjust the savings rate. There is a semi-third factor to this, which is investing, but a time horizon of only a couple of years will not guarantee that the numbers go up. It might be that you invest in a phase where the market goes down, so this one is not a reliable factor here, which is why let's stick to those two, income and savings rate. Alright, now what to actually do so that the second 100,000 is gonna be easier. Charlie Munger, the buddy of Warren Buffett, says the first 100K is hard, and he is right. We just saw how much time you need to actually save it up, and he also says that the second one is going to be much easier. And that is also true, but only for a few conditions. So Charlie Munger is obviously an investor, which means one of those conditions is that you actually invest the first 100K so that it can work for you. Because starting from the moment you invest, you're benefiting from compound interest, which you won't notice in the first couple of years, but will really make a difference after a long period of time, because you let earn interest on interest. That, of course, is only provided you don't take the money out, because that would mean to interrupt the process of compound interest. And the other two conditions of making the second 100,000 easier and faster is to increase the income and increase the savings rate, or both. So in other words, if you don't invest the money, and if your salary stays the same, and also your savings rate stays the same, the second 100,000 is going to be equally hard as the first 100,000. The same applies if you increase your income, but you don't adapt the actually money you save. So if you started, for example, with 1,200 a month, and then your income goes up, but you still save the 1,200 per month, the second 100K is not going to be easier, because it'll take you the same amount of time to get there. Money is not always a game of numbers, but in this particular case, it's pure math. If you want to speed up the process by hiring your savings rate, I recommend this video next. For more tips on personal finance, consider subscribing, and I'll hopefully see you in the next video. Bye bye.